Good day, class. How are you today? How are mommies and daddies at home? I hope we've been enjoying our holiday. For today's English class, we are going to be looking into the aspect of oral. Before we go into the topic proper, I want us to remind ourselves what oral English is all about. Oral English, like we all know, is the aspect of English language that involves production of sounds. That is, this aspect of English language, that is the oral English, involves production of sounds. I know you would all agree with me that for every languages of the world, we have different alphabets. Just like in English language, there are 26 alphabets that are spelled differently. But for this aspect of English language, we are not dealing with the common ways of pronouncing those alphabets. We are dealing with the sounds that can be generated from each of these alphabets when we pronounce them. And that will take us to our topic for today, which is the description of the consonant sh and j. This consonant on the board is pronounced sh, while this other one is pronounced j. Before we go further, I want to quickly tell us the objective of this class. At the end of this class, each student must be able to pronounce the two consonant sounds on the board. That is, you should have it at the back of your mind that at the end of this class, you should be able to pronounce this consonant sh and this other one j. Also, at the end of this class, every student should be able to identify the sounds whenever they are used in different words. And lastly, we should all know that at the end of this class, we should be able to present words with these two consonants on the board. Now we move to the topic improper. Before we proceed, I want us to get ourselves familiar with the various ways of producing the sounds on the board. When it comes to the production of these two consonant sounds, we make use of our organs of speech. Also, before I proceed, I know many of you may want to ask why these two sounds are treated together. The reason for them being treated together is the fact that these two consonants on the board both have the same places and manner of articulation. What do I mean by that? It means the various parts of our body involved in the production of these two consonant sounds are the same. For the production of sh and j, we make use of our tongue. The two parts of our tongues that are involved in the production of these two sounds are the tip of our tongue and the blade. Where is your tip and where is the blade of your tongue? The tip of our tongue is the front part of our tongue that is tiny. You can experiment that. You can just stretch forward your your tongue, you will discover that at the top of your tongue there's a tiny part of it. Also, for the blade, you can also stretch forward your tongue too. You will discover that there are 2 sharp sides of the tongue. This is what we call the blade. Therefore, the tip of this tongue makes a light contact with the ridge. Where is our ridge? Our ridge is part of our teeth. The fleshy part of your teeth below your teeth is called the ridge. You can as well experiment that. Just try to touch the lower part of your teeth with the tip of your tongue. You realize where your ridge is. So for the production of these 2 consonant sounds, when we try to pronounce sh, sh, I want everybody to do that with me. Sh. You realize that the tip of your tongue touches that ridge, that fleshy part of your teeth. And also for this too, let's take a pronunciation of this sound. Sh, sh. I hope you've realized what I've said earlier. So also for the production of this, the tip of your tongue makes contact with the ridge. And in the course of doing this, you discover that there is movement of air. That is, while you pronounce the consonant sh and the other consonant sh, you discover that air moves out of your mouth, which makes a hissing, as if one is hissing. Also, in the course of how these sounds are produced, there's one very important thing we need to take note of, and that is the sh sound and the j. You discover that one important thing about these 2 sounds is that one is voiced and the other is voiceless. The reason for this sound being voiced and why the sh sound is voiceless is because while we are pronouncing this sound, as the air I earlier said about moves out of our mouth, you will discover that there's a bit of vibration while you try to pronounce the sh, sh, this sound. And how do we experiment this to know which of the sounds is voiced and which one is voiceless? All you need to do is place one of your fingers. I want everybody to do that. Place one of your fingers on your throat, that is your glottis. Do that now. Then let's pronounce this sound together once again to experiment what I've said. Shh. Have you all done that? Once again, let's do that. Shh. Once again. Shh. You realize that there is nothing like vibration at that your throat where you've placed your finger. Now we are going to experiment this. Place one of your fingers again on your throat. Have you all done that? Now let's take a pronunciation of this to know what I've said earlier. 1, 2, go. Again. Again. Now while you have done that, you realize that there is a kind of vibration that took place on your throat where you have placed your finger. So as a result of this vibration, this sound is voiced. But because there was no vibration while we placed our finger on our throat, this other sound is voiceless. That vibration took place on the pronunciation of this sound because the air that moves moved through the glottis was obstructed. That is, it was delayed. It was delayed, and therefore the glottis shakes. So whenever you pronounce this sound, there will not be free movement of air. So your throat or your glottis will shake. So in that case, this sound becomes voiced. While this other one, because the movement of air was not disturbed, the air passes freely. So as a result of this sound is said to be voiceless. So far, that is that on the production of these two consonant sounds. So now we are going to move to examples of these consonant sound. That is, the various words where we can pronounce these sounds. On the board here, you have these two columns for the two sounds we are treating. For the she sound, it can be pronounced in SH of she. Look at the phonetic symbol for the right pronunciation of the word sheep here. Sheep. Now let's pronounce this together once again. Sheep. Again, sheep. Now, the same consonant sound that can be pronounced in letter SH when combined together can also be pronounced in letter CH of chef. Look at the phonetic symbol for the pronunciation. Now let's pronounce it together. Chef. Once again, chef. Again, chef. Also, the she sound can also be pronounced in letter S of mention. Now let's pronounce that together again. Mention. Now we move to the second consonant sound, the G sound. Now it can be pronounced in letter G of rouge. Again, rouge. Again, rouge. Also, it can be pronounced in letter S of television. Again, television. Again, television. And lastly, on that example, this sound can also be pronounced in letter G when we have it in garage. Again, garage. Garage. Again, garage. Now, we are going to move to the spelling symbols of these two consonant sounds. What do I mean by the spelling symbols? Like I told us earlier that we